Hello, Joni Rotten here, and I've got some fun things to share, hopefully. So if you're new, this is what I do. If you're not, I hope you like my presentation today. So I am going to share another YouTuber's video in not just sharing it, but having fun with it. So there's another YouTuber, DARTHNEWS. I've been following him since he had like no subscribers. I think him and I started roughly around the same time, and he's just become one of my favorite channels over the years. Once he might have known my name, but he doesn't now. But I did see Tina. So Tina and Fiona used to have some conversations in the comments section every now and then, all those years ago. Anyway, Darth, forgive me. But I do know what I'm doing. Anyway, he did a video about what the fuck is going on with TikTok. And I was watching it and I couldn't help myself. I clearly see the connection between imagination and what is happening today and the ages and stages of human development. If you know, you know. So it's my understanding that the human species as a collective, our unconscious collective, is at the age of Aquarius, or our turning 13, our rite of passage through our historical epochs. And so whenever I can try to make those connections, I do. Here is the newest presentation. How old are we? Well, I'm going to say a lot of us are roughly around the age of TikTokers, maybe 9. And that might be even giving them a little bit of a, but definitely 9 to 12 years old. I'm going to try to prove that today. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and play some of Darth's video while people are coming in, saying hi. And then once we have a few, we'll go into the other articles and research that I have pulled up for you today. Okay, so here goes. DARTHNEWS. Here. I'll put myself down at the bottom, but let me zoom in so you can see the channel. Subscribe. What the fuck is happening on TikTok? Darth XXL. I don't know, Darth. I have some ideas. So this is the channel. The link is in the description. I'm also going to throw it in the chat. And then if you're not subscribed, you might be after today. And if you are, you know, hip, hip, hooray. So, Darth, take it away.
Been to the top of the tower?
Yeah, it's rubbish.
It is. Guidebook says it's a must-see.
Well, you lot ain't going up there.
Pardon me? Why?
I mean, it's all windy stairs. I'm not being funny.
What exactly are you trying to say?
What exactly am I trying to say? These are a bunch of fucking elephants.
Come on, leave it, fatty.
You know you're just the rudest man. The rudest man.
What's all that about? They're not going up there. Hey, guys, I wouldn't go up there. It's really narrow.
Screw you, motherfucker!
Wow.
This is a classic example of white privilege.
This will be an everlasting love.
Stop! My ears! I'll go deaf!
Great channel. Thank you very much, my friend.
I'm looking for a job.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
What are the specials? Like,
It never ends. Never ends. All the things that I used to say, all the words that got in the way, all the things that I used to know have gone out the window.
oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Well, you know, it made me feel a little, you know, I really liked it.
Thanks for the likes.
Thanks for the likes.
No, you won't laugh because it's not funny.
You can't even trust simple shit.
Thanks for the share. Thanks for the likes.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome to the stream. You made my day. Mwah.
My lips. I'm seeing a lot of comments about my lips on my videos that I posted, and so I feel like it's necessary that I address this.
Shout out to that. Shout out to that. You know what time it is. And also, if you want to, if you want to see the picture of health, look at John, man. He's a beast, man. Boxing gym, boxer, man. So go up there and check out my brother John, man. Give him a follow. Shout out to him. Shout out to him.
Bitch, you speak when spoken to now. Oh, no.
Get the first 20, okay? This one is not only for the people who are under one.
That's where boys get more stupider. I'm definitely not from Jupiter.
The world is definitely not ready to hear this.
New era of slut is here. The new era of the biggest sluts you've ever seen are here.
Who you think you talking to, baby? This viral game, I've been in this viral game, girl.
You've never seen sluts like this with numbers like these.
Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock.
These are the highest numbers that make you the sickest.
Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock.
I don't think we'll ever get to the 2024 election.
Stop!
And then we're like, listen, everybody tap the screen. Let's get that to close to 800,000. I mean, dude, imagine if we hit 1 million. Everybody just keep tapping. What happens if we hit 1 million? If we hit 1 million likes on there, something's got to happen, right?
Hello, Julie. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock.
Holy shit. No.
Hi. So, what's up, everybody?
Are you part of the clan or a nice person?
Yeah.
But not every queer or trans person has the support that I do. So
you are distressed that the Ukrainians don't have enough American tanks. Every city in the United States has become much worse over the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Drive around. There's not one city that's gotten better in the United States. And it's visible. Our economy has degraded. The suicide rate has jumped.
Do you want to die?
That is a very personal subject matter. That is something that a human being makes a decision for themselves.
It is haunting video of an 18-year-old making his first parachute jump while his mother watched. His chute never opened.
Public filth and disorder and crime have exponentially increased.
It might be that fentanyl.
And yet, your concern is that the Ukrainians, a country most people can't find on a map, who've received tens of billions of US tax dollars, don't have enough tanks. I think it's a fair question to ask, like, where's the concern for the United States in that?
Well, it's not my concern. Tucker, I've heard that routine from you before, but that's not my concern.
I don't think you understand.
And let me tell you, Trump knows there's plans to kill him.
I have made this intro at least 100 times. I don't know. I fucking, what am I even doing anymore? What is this?
This is a long one, so here we go.
What's the fucking, what?
Roses.
There's certain good things about being alone.
Oh my God. What is the point of fucking anything?
What the fuck do you want?
Here's the situation. Normally, both your asses would be dead as fucking fried chicken. But you happen to pull this shit while I'm in a transitional period, and I don't want to kill you. I want to help you.
Why do I even try? You know what I mean? Why do I even try?
And if you criticize any of it,
If you object to any of this filth, no matter how aggressively disgusting, stupid, and morally deranged it is.
Yes, absolutely 100. You know what time it is. I'm all about bringing health to people and consciousness of health. And
You are dismissed as a prude. If you do not want these morons and perverts to...
I'm definitely not from Jupiter.
Oh, can you tell I'm letting my hair down?
I'm seeing a lot of comments about my lips.
Because this is one of those videos where it's like, you know what? I can complain and complain and complain, but at the end of the day, I'm just another fucking cog in the wheel, right? I'm just another fucking product to jerk off to. Is this stroking your fucking endorphins? Is this getting your 10-second toms off, huh?
It smells so good.
Just getting your fucking 10-second toms off? Is this the kind of content you have been dying for?
Do you want to die?
Probably not.
Oh, is there anybody gonna help me?
But that's what this channel's all about. Giving you what the fuck you don't even know you want.
Now, this is the first year that a trans woman is in the competition. How do you feel about that?
I ask God respectively to blow the planet up immediately.
Jesus. Listen to this shit. Look, what I'm trying to say is, if we don't pay attention to what the fuck is happening to our kids,
Gang, gang.
The fuck?
into their minds, we're fucked.
Hi.
This is real talk, all right? This is Darth getting fucking real. We're fucked.
Ew. What is that?
We are like. I know it sounds crazy to just be like, oh, Darth, you're just taking a little sample of TikTok. Just you think TikTok is the future? Wow. China certainly sees it that way. I don't know if this is like some kind of fucking game they're playing. Like I don't know if this is some kind of fetish.
Like animated dragon guy?
I don't know if this is some. I don't know what the fuck is happening on TikTok.
My brother discovered that I really fell in love with him at the antique store, and then went and bought him for me for Christmas. And honestly, that was the sweetest thing anyone's ever done for me. And
did it?
So there's a live category, and I'm just sliding through the fucking.
Me. I'm actually specialized in relationship readings. Micaiah, is there a chance we will end up back together, or should I move on?
I'd look at,
How's everyone doing tonight, though? I just got off work. I just took a
I kind of don't want to do that, so.
Shut the hell up. No, it's not.
Motherfucker. Thank you, Willow. You understand? You sucker muggagus. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Jen.
Like.
I'm about to eat some sugar, but it's like a little PSA.
Ooh, ice cream!
Desconfiar que nesses trajes.
Let's take it for a spin. Oh, that wheel smells pretty.
All right, but I haven't played Bill in forever. So go,
Oh, kick, and it's in.
I have made this intro at least 50 fucking times.
The jokes go on for way too long, and my mentality, I'm like, okay, this now you're beating like a dead horse. Like I just want this.
And you know what? It doesn't fucking matter, because this is content.
I love you too. Hey, thanks for the rose. Hey, thanks for the rose. I'll make sure I give those to my uncle. Haven't visited his grave in a.
This is cringe. This is what you want. This is what you want.
Sucker.
It's all bullshit.
I love it.
This is all none of this. None of it.
From here on, starting now, I want my work to be credited by the anchors and on a burn. The name of my company is video production news, a professional news gathering service. That's how it should be read and that's how it should be said. I also want to go to the next rung and meet your team, and the station manager and the director and the anchors, and start developing my own personal relationships. I'd like to start meeting them this morning. You'll take me around, you'll introduce me as the owner and president of Video Production News and remind them of some of my many other stories. I'm not done. I also want to stop our discussion over prices. This will save time. So when I say that a particular number is my lowest price, that's my lowest price. And you can be assured that I arrived at whatever that number is very carefully. Now, when I say that I want these things, I mean that I want them. And I don't want to have to ask again. And the last thing that I want, Nina, is for you to do the things that I ask you to do when we're alone together in your apartment. Not like the last time.
I mean, I don't know how to say this besides we're fucked, you know.
That's too funny. I got something wild in the music.
So I think we should just focus on the main issue at hand, which is our future. But look, if this is any indication of what our future is like, yo, this is some next level shit. We are delving into the 9 circles of hell.
Crazy, huh? I want to see you. You want to see me. Kismet, I think they call that. Is that right? Sounds right. Anyway, what matters is we're here, 2 men speaking our minds.
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is going on with TikTok, but it's depraved and it's biggest sluts you've ever seen are here. Maybe I'm just.
Okay, I'll play some more of that shortly, but I wanted to pause here. So he asked the question, and I don't know what the fuck is going on with TikTok, but it's disturbing. It is. I don't know if he said it's disturbing, but he says something. Anyway, I'm going to share my ideas of what the hell is going on with TikTok. So give me a second. How is everybody today? I do have one quick video and, oh, well, not one, I have several. I have a presentation, but I'm going to have to be jumping around my tabs. So before I play this, let's say hi. So Bri came in number 1 first in, and then number 2, AMG Writer. And for our 3rd slot, we get Ulick McGee. Excellent. Woot woot. Land comes in number 4. I see Northwest Media makes it in the top 5. Welcome in, everybody. There's 2 more of you that don't want to say hi. That's fair. Hello, whoever you may be. Okay, so TikTok. So I'm going to share some more because that's just kind of his intro. And he does go through, I did this one day with YouTube videos, lives. You could just kind of scroll. If you're on your phone as opposed to the PC, you can just flick through, you know, these different random people's live streams. And we've had a few people like that show up in ours. So that's always kind of fun. But that's kind of what he did here for TikTok. So he just scrolled and just pulled out. I found a lot of very disturbing things when I did that. So I've not done it again. I feel like I could be in trouble. There was a lot of perverted things that were, you know, streams. It's a totally different than TikTok. And how old do you think the girl is with the crotch shot on the camera? Exactly. These are the things that I find so disturbing myself. But anyway, let's talk about pretend play and imagination, which is what I see these TikTokers doing. So in childhood development, there is a developmental stages where a child learns and they grow and they develop, and every stage includes certain behaviors that are unique to that stage. And these TikTokers and the world at large that we don't look at, they have very openly displayed childhood behaviors. And that goes along with some of the theory that they have delayed development. They are altering us in a way. They're causing a delay of development in the species as a collective, not in an individual. A whole group, the whole group is being delayed, not just an individual. So as individuals get delayed, that affects, butterfly effect, the whole group now. So we have retardation en masse, if you will. So this is a quick little video from the Connecticut Office of Early Childhood. The importance of pretend play. Why is this an important part of child development? So I'm going to play this little video. It's going to give you, some information on why this is important.
Play is the most enjoyable part of childhood. Honestly, I'm not sure we need any further justification for including it in our classrooms, in our family childcare homes. Play is what makes childhood wonderful. But it so happens that play is also absolutely crucial for learning and development. Play nurtures almost everything that's important in early childhood, from social development to language to emotional well-being to motor coordination, even reading or being able to do math. Play influences everything. One kind of play that's especially important is pretend play. It's a kind of play that you see in every part of the world in children. You may know this by other names: dramatic play, dress up, housekeeping, fantasy play. Regardless of what you call it, if you're working with young children, you know what this kind of play is like, and you've seen how valuable it can be.
Okay, so there is an uptick to imaginative play. So where I see the world as a developmental stage, largely, then this is where I see this happening. If I was to walk into a preschool, I would see a bunch of kids that look like those TikToking adults. I would see that, makeup and the dress up and the stuff like that. That's what I would see at a certain age and stage of our development. So when I see it en masse, I then go, oh, how old are we? So these people clearly are just little kids. They're still in their very early stages of development. So I'm going to go over and read an article here. This one here. I'll make it bigger because I like being able to share it in this way. So this is from Firstly Parenting, I don't know what that's, Firstery Parenting. Okay. But this article talks about the importance of dress-up play for your child's development. It is a new article, 2021. So you'd think they would have seen this by now, figured this out. But here we have a bunch of children dressing up in their superhero costumes outside playing. Clearly, this is not them making these costumes, though, but an adult with the matching shoes and everything. So, Walmart and Amazon, there you go. You can buy imagination dress-up play. So let's read why role-playing is important to a collective, to children, so our species as a whole. Oh, and so why we should cut them some slack, that maybe we need to realize what's happening so that they can understand what they're doing while they're acting like children, because they are children. Maybe they'll grow up. So that's my hope here. Fingers crossed. We have all found ourselves wondering if we could be someone else, even for a little while. And clearly we see that with the TikToking videos, right? Everyone is wanting to be someone else, even if it's just for a little while. And so we're trying on identities, right? Today, I identify as a flamingo, and tomorrow I'm going to identify as a Pepsi can. I'm playing. I'm imagining things. And children achieve this by playing dress-up games and role-playing their favorite superheroes, careers, or characters from books and movies. When they don that costume, They're able to create their own realities and find their happy place. And we see that en masse. Isn't everyone saying that? It's a way for them to escape. So we have adults who have escapism, magic, escape artists, and they are dressing up and role playing characters that they see in anime, video games, movies, television shows, even historical characters, etc. Dress up play is vital to the cognitive, emotional, and physical and social development of a child or of a species. So what is dress up play? Children love to dress up as professionals like doctors or astronauts, which we know the astronauts are in fact actors. And it appears as if our doctors are now just acting as well, acting on behalf of someone else. Superheroes like Batman, and of course princesses like Cinderella and Jasmine, or their favorite movie or television show characters like Mona or Dora the Explorer. Dress up play involves wearing costumes or cosplay and particular characters and role playing their actions or persona. And now we saw this decades ago. I was a teenager in the 90s and 80s, 90s cusp there, flipping of the decade. And I had a few friends that liked to do LARPing. Video games became a thing. That's exactly the same. So we were already having hints and sniffs and whiffs of role-playing type behaviors that were happening. And as the generations have grown and the Gen X has moved into adulthood and the millennials came into their teenage years, we saw another burst in that. And we got the clown videos. Remember all the people dressing up as clowns and scaring people. We had the beginnings of, trying on cosplay, Dragon Con, these things that were once limited to nerds and geeks that only a few people went and participated in. Now it was everyone, even from the zombie walk that they have in Atlanta somewhere where they filmed that television show. People are dressing up. Remember when we were doing even the flash mob dance routines, etc. That's all lit. That's all packed into this behavioral expression of role playing and pretending and our imagination. So they may make shift costumes with blankets, scarves, shawls, paint, or makeup, and they may make props or use different voices and accents. You're going to see a lot of that in these TikToks. And don't forget applying makeup, putting on makeup as a kid, playing dress up and mimicking mommy is makeup tutorials on fucking mass. Okay. So again, another place where our behavior and ages and stages as a species has connected to the large group at hand. They can make props and use different voices and accents. And that sounds like a lot of the, even drag time kind of things. So when children put on costumes, they use it as a means to express themselves in their aspirations, children or even adults. This is why the Freemasons are going to don masks and they really love costume parties. For that night, they are void of identity. They can be anything they want. And it's an adult's way of connecting back to that childhood, letting go. I'll use an example. I would not walk into a store and start, singing out, Let It Be by Frozen or something. But a 7-year-old has no qualms at doing that. And they even have phrases like dance like no one's watching, or, these kinds of things. So that's all a childhood type mentality, a way that they view the world. Benefits of dress up for kids. So it fosters creativity, which we see en masse. There's an art explosion in the world right now. Everyone is expressing themselves through art. At the Etsy that I once knew, so that concept of uniqueness is now everyone's crocheting, everyone is doing stickers, everyone is making paintings, everyone, even DARTHNEWS in his room and some of the places that he sets up his camera, he's got artwork, I'm assuming viewers, subscribers of his has sent him. And he displays them right there. This is something that we do as children, and that we're now expressing as adults, large amounts of us, not just a few, not just a random here or there, but en masse, everyone is DIY. And we saw that coming with Home and Garden Channel and all of those, Discovery channels, and everyone's home, doing it themselves. People are doing it themselves. And so we have, a group of people that are out auditing, and a group of people that are out collecting, archaeologists, mini archaeologists, everyone's got hobbies of being an artist or a historian or a scholar with the Bible, or in my case, human behaviors. We're all finding something, So this creativity is fostered by these types of play, and it expresses itself later in our adulthood. We find something that we've played around with, like, say, human behaviors. I loved children, and I was one of those very coveted babysitters in the neighborhood. That's void and gone. And I have some other things that are going to talk about that from a different perspective further down in this presentation. So what are some of the things? It gives us self-exploration. Children playing dress-up often represent the career aspirations or role models and ideals. This can be vital into their understanding of themselves and their dreams and goals. And we have a lot of dreams and goals, a lot of channels, a lot of books coming out, self-help, manifestation, law of attraction, crystal balls, the same thing. When children imagine themselves to be something else, they learn about their likes, dislikes, preferences, and how they like to interact with others. So having the ability to explore these things when you're a child, not an adult, but a child, gives you that knowing thyself as an adult. It's probably why a lot of us in this room don't seem to have these problems so much with loss of identity in that sense, as most of these TikTokers seem to do. And they don't really know how to interact with each other. I mean, even like that woman saying, everybody keeps commenting about my lips, so I guess I have to. If you didn't see yourself in the mirror and then go and put yourself on a camera and expect no one to notice the obvious, what are you thinking, right? You should just have it. If you're going to show your face, then you should just have a ticker at the bottom that says, I know my lips are fucked up. Here's what's wrong with them. I'm a man, or I had a disease, or this, and just leave that running and ignore the comments. And that's, maybe make that the first video they get when they come on, just a 1-minute thing that says, I know, can you just not, but maybe don't show your face, or maybe make that what your channel is about, you being different from everyone else, in which case you'll attract those people. If you're trying to take yourself seriously and you're not, what it makes me think of in the Austin Powers movie where he meets the one guy and he's got huge hairy mole on his face, and Austin Powers is trying his very best not to notice the giant mole on your face. Mole, 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 mole. It's impossible. That scene shows how the brain goes. So you might as well just throw it out there. Okay. Imagination. While playing dress up, a child's imagination knows no bounds, and kids create their own universes and realities. They make up scenarios and explore how they would perform in them. And I clearly see that in the TikTok videos. There is no doubt in my mind that these adults are creating their own universes as they dress up. Makes me think of those sci-fi movies where they have their alternate yous. You know, wouldn't you like to know? You know, I think one of the clips that Darth News uses, the girl's just strange. And then she says, what, you know, well, what do you do before this? And she says, I was a school teacher. Do you not think that's weird to think about your child's teacher at school leaving school and on a Friday night wearing drag? If you don't, that's okay. But see, the thing is today we don't actually know. There is no moral contract anymore. So the people that are teaching your children are de facto. Do you get it? We can even get creative with their costumes, like when playing fashion dress-up games. You know, like when 13-year-old girls and 14-year-old girls are doing YouTube try-on hauls for the summer bikini season. Midriffs for everybody. I'm 13. I'm wearing a training bra. Don't you want to watch my channel? Everyone likes me, and everyone clicks on me. Like. See how, like, you've got perverts liking you, but don't forget that Rudolf Steiner, we all know who he is, who founded Waldorf education, said that imaginative play in the early childhood years, in the child's early years, is instrumental to the development of creating thinking in their adult years. So if we remove imaginative play from our children when they're children, they have lost out on a massive developmental creative thinking in their adult years. They will now act out the very thing that they lost as a child. And that's what Joni Rotten is saying today. Is that we're seeing this today because these children, these Gen Zers and late millennials, meings, anybody who's a meing, I don't even care how old you are. I know 50-year-old men and women who are meings. You missed out on something. Here's a few key things to what you missed out on. You didn't have music and art and extra playtime. You were always structured. So the moment you woke up to your morning school, you got taken to school at 6 o'clock in the morning. They gave you a breakfast there. They control your entire day with very few adults, much like a prison where you have very few guards, but yet you have lots of prisoners. So you have very few adults, and yet you have lots of children, which means that children are raising children, which equals when they get out of prison, they end up knowing a lot of really bad, evil deeds. Hold on one second. Okay. And then they remove these things from school, and then they have after school program. So after school includes more programmed or what was the word I was just using? Controlled environment. And so the imagination can't survive there. Plus their imagination has to be done within the group. So there is no room for private imaginative play, learning to be by yourself and play by yourself and imagine characters that aren't there. Because now I have a friend that's going to be the character. Do you see? And so, so they completely altered the way the human mind develops all of those years ago. And they have fucked these generations by removing their individual imagination. And now as they have grown up, they're now expressing that. That's the delay. That's what they've done to us. They knew it because there's tons and tons of research, this article right here and many more, that say imagination is instrumental. And yet when we go back and we look at what their childhood structure was like, we see no and very little imagination. Everything that was imagination for them was being controlled through either TV or parent or teacher guidance. In other words, class, today we're going to pretend that we're snakes, rather than letting each kid have that time to pretend on their own. Do you see what I'm saying there? Hopefully you know enough about children to kind of know exactly where I'm going with that. Hello, Paul. Welcome. It's good to see you. Hey, Paul. Afternoon, Paul. It's fucking disgusting. Sam Smith playing dress up in child-themed clothing, musical Teletubbies on TikTok. We know who the audience is he's targeting. Bingo. And everybody wants to save the world, remember? That was absolutely songs of generational archetype. Welcome anybody's come in since I started. I'm going to go back to my presentation now. I've caught up on chat. So the next thing we have is socialization. So when children play dress up games together, they learn to communicate and socialize. So that playing together learns how to communicate and socialize. But when it is in a controlled environment, so when there is an adult who is controlling that play, not letting the children play on themselves, I have a playlist that I put together. So if you're interested in exploring this topic further after me, I've thrown in a few videos where some of these topics are just explored with video. So you could just hit play in the playlist and go for it. And you'll hear where somebody actually points this out directly. The socialization. She talks about one of the keys to letting a child learn how to be imaginative. In other words, letting a child be a child so that you have a healthy adult and not a TikTok adult, a healthy psychological adult. One of the things is in their imaginative play, you have to stay out of the way. As a parent, it's hard not to do that, but that is a tip for you. And so every psychologist that studies human behavior and everybody that has been in education and taken the time to learn knows this. I'm not making this up. This is well documented. When adults intervene and adults lead creativity, the children lose the socialization scores, the socialization skills. So being able to imagine on their own. And one of the things the lady says is that she likes to leave her daughters alone. She leaves the two girls alone, leave your daughter and her friend alone, and let them work out things. So they'll come running to you to tattle, but that's an age and stage and does not evolve after it has been conquered, unless, of course, these children did not get the proper how to deal with this. And now they become adults who tattle on fucking everybody. And there we have TikTok Karen videos. So those were people whose teachers self-indulged them and did not let them work things out. There is a way to let kids work it out themselves. You can even say things. I just tell the girls, I said, well, you guys can just go home and stop playing. No. I said, well, then, maybe work it out. So it causes children to have to learn socialization. They have to learn how to give and take. What is that called? Compromise. Something that we have absolutely none of. We are walking and we are running on fumes when it comes to compromise. Everyone wants to debate. No one wants to cooperate. And debating means that there is a winner at the end, and cooperation means that everyone wins. And yet I do not see cooperation. I see a lot of arguments and debates, and I'll debate that, which means that you're defending something. That's not cooperation. Cooperation means that I tell you and you tell me, and we find where our things align, and then we either change the other things because we've seen another viewpoint, or we say, well, I totally agree with you here on these things, but I'm going to hold on to these other things for now because I'm not sure you've convinced me that aliens exist yet. So for me, I'm going to hang on to my flat earth maybe a little bit longer. And that is called cooperation and getting along with people. A social score that you learned as a child that is a void and negative today. It's non-existent. Everyone is wanting to fight. Everyone is wanting to stand up for their rights against the bully of the playground. You will not talk to me like that. You will not boss me around. Everybody that I have ever seen do that, you don't talk to me like that. I'm pretty sure in my teeny tiny state, because I am just so scrappy, that I could take them all. They are literally water to me. I feel like if I breathed too heavy, I'd knock them over. So all of their big poofy talk, they have no backbone. They have nothing to go with it. And if I was a child, I would smell that a mile away. And I'd come at you. I'd get in your face. I would challenge your authority on the matter. Oh, you think that I can't talk to you like this? And you know what always happens with those people when someone does get in their face and say, you're not going to act like a Karen in the store? They run and tattle. They run and tattle, and they go find an officer. That's it. I'm calling the police. You are racist. Racism isn't a crime. And the fact that you even think of the first thing you want to do is go call a police officer or a teacher or your mommy when somebody offends you, and that's not a crime, by the way. We have a problem, Houston. Okay, you clearly have never grown up. You never had, and when you were a child. So as a collective, unconscious group, we are massively stunted in our development. We should be in our teenage years now, not double digits, not tweens, not 9-year-old behavior. And this is what school has programmed the adults of the world today. And clearly I see the programming oozing out of the TikTok videos. So it goes on to say that these games promote cooperation, which I just talked about, and children often have to figure out how to take turns, negotiate, and agree on the rules and the stories without you intervening, without you saying, without someone saying what is right or what is not right, especially someone who has no morals or values whatsoever and has no problems taking advantage of child labor, using the humans as guinea pigs, stealing, keeping people down, continuing to support drug abuse and drug trafficking, people trafficking, keeping people poor and homeless and hungry. Our leaders literally have no place running this school. They are no older than anyone else. And that's like hall monitors ruling the school. And that's why we have bullies in our government and leadership positions in big business. These are bullies, and they are no bigger or older or smarter or wiser or have been around or an older soul or a demon or a god from antiquity any more than anyone else on the planet. We are all tweenagers, I'm sorry to say, as a collective. Now, you might be upper in the class, maybe you're in AP, but you're still in high school, everybody. This allows them to teach, this will teach them to respect others' choices and opinions, which we have none of, none whatsoever. So with these, let me see, hang on. Yeah, I'm going to stop here because I'm going to stop here on number 3, socialization. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to play a little bit more of Darth's video so that you can now see what I said and what he's sharing. And then I'll share some more. I'll pause it and I'm going to read some more of these attributes. And you tell me if you don't notice these absolutely beautiful similarities. You got to be able to see what has happened to these people. Do you know what I mean? It's so obvious now. We're fucked. So before I do that, I see that my good friend Susanna's come in. Helena's come in. Hello. Let's see what we're saying. More hellos. Save the world. We couldn't even save our families get them to listen about masks and jabs. Exactly. Hello, Paul. Good to see everybody. They're acting like modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. Once they succeeded, they can destroy it in the modern equivalent of sulfur and fire. Yes, metaphoricals everywhere. Can you smell the eggs? Can you smell the smoke? On a cheerier note, afternoon. Hello. Good to see you guys. Everybody's here. Hope all is well. I've just a TikTok from Katie Hopkins, who said cash transactions are up by 7%. So maybe people are waking up. I did see a little thing about that recently too, Helen. But I'd like to point out, so even I'm going to be devil's advocate. So curse me if you may. But one of the things that happens in an abusive relationship is that the noose gets really tight. The control begins to be noticeable. And so you start to say, you know, I don't like the way you've been treating me. For a long time, I've sat back and I've not said a whole lot, but you really are getting a little aggressive. You know, you're making me feel like a child when I'm around you and your friends. You make fun of me, whatever your abusive partner is doing. Okay. Even the bully, you know, dusts you off a little. I'm sorry. You know, I probably should, because they can tell that their victim is starting to get angry. And what happens when somebody gets angry is that they're either going to eventually pop and leave you, or they're going to kill you, or you know, do something crazy, expose you. So even a narcissistic abuser, even an egotistical person, even a cluster B type personality knows when to lay off the throttle a little and give you some breathing room. And so it wouldn't surprise me, knowing what gaslighting is like, if our government doesn't pull one of these love bombing moments on us truthers, where they go out and encourage their group or hire people to start using cash. If they don't encourage it on TV, if they don't say, hey, you know, in our city, I'm the governor, I'm the mayor, I'm this, I'm the president, I see what's happening with currency, I think we should use it. And then they don't, knowing full well that it's already going to happen, but they give you a moment where you feel love bombed, where you feel like you're winning. You feel like, oh, they're listening to me. You know, you're right. I am a little rough on you sometimes. And I don't mean to kick you under the table when you say, you know, fairly offensive things to someone who deserves it. However, you know, I'm noticing that, you know, that's not nice of me. So, you know, I'll work on it. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to try to be better. Just be patient with me because I'm still learning. You know, I'm an asshole by birthright. So, you know, you've caught me in some lies. Please give me another chance to be better and have transparency in the relationship. That was one of my problems. They lied about everything. And you call them out and then they go, you're right. Let me tell you a few truths. I do have a secret bank account, you know, but I'll close it tomorrow. And they bring me a piece of paper that shows that they closed it. They just opened another one at a different bank, but they've admitted to that one. And now everything's all fine and you're all good and dandy. Do you see the love bombing that happens to keep you in their trap? And so when I read stuff like that, Helen, these are the things that my, you know, cynical mind thinks of. Okay, yeah, that does sound good, but, you know, I instantly have butt face. I have a butt face. My face looks like, but that face you make when you're like, oh, maybe. However, it's that face. I have butt face, you know, so I'll believe it when I see it, but I'm not going to hold my breath because I'm pretty sure it's going to be short-lived like everything else. It sends a message. Seen an increase in cash. People apologize for using it too and ask if it's okay. Like they're ashamed of using the mark of the beast. That's an interesting one, Bri. I have also experienced that, in that, you don't mind if I give you, ones, do you? If I pay in, and even heard it, that was a while back, but, I have heard people say that I've only got cash on me or whatever. What are we going to do at yard sales? Don't piss on my chips. I'm sorry. Excellent. Thank you. Fair. Okay. Well, let's laugh a little with Darth. Again, I say, please forgive me, Darth, as I'm sharing your whole thing today. Okay. Because it was so fun. And I thought me and my friends may enjoy doing this. So if he does show up or whatever, which I doubt seriously, but I did hashtag it, or sees it later, or one of his fans comes over and then wants to go tattle on me. Here's a girl using your stuff. She's a fucking, you know what? Fuck off. That's a middle finger in my hand in the swing. Get over yourself. It's what we're talking about. Don't be a tattletale. Grow up already. Jesus Christ. You're not going to die. Look, hitting a channel because we share your stuff. I don't think Darth would. Honestly, I don't expect that in any way, shape, or form. Or I never even would do it because, I just don't think that's that group. But, I do get hit. And I'm not the only one. Other people get hit. You're sharing my stuff. You're sharing my stuff. Don't share my stuff. You sound like an idiot child to me. Anyway, so I just think how pathetic you are. First of all, me sharing your article, my friends are never going to read that. My friends are never going to see that. They don't go search human behaviors and scientific breakthroughs. My friends don't do that. I'm the archetype of the group that has that behavior. So I'm the one that runs into the group. Hey guys, look what I found, and shares it. So you're actually getting exposure when you wouldn't have ever before, right? So do you want people to hear your song that none of my friends are going to listen to you because they don't listen to weird reggae music as JP does, or they don't share, but this is a cool song. I wouldn't have known half the bands that I ended up falling in love with if a friend hadn't come running in through the cassette or the record on, right? That's how I learned about these groups, not from the radio. The radio wasn't playing these groups. The stations were busy, playing Bobby Brown, not, the Sundays. How would I have ever known about the Happy Mondays or the Dead Kennedys? I wouldn't have, So there. Okay. I'm going back to Dark now. Shut up. I see half the groups left. They're like, fuck this. I'm off to tattle. They all left to go tattle on me. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Here.
It's making a big deal about this, and it doesn't need to be a big deal. That's it. Yeah, it's nothing to worry about. Stupid me. Nothing to worry about. Cheers.
Hello, Ansley.
Fuck. Because I don't want to be part of whatever this is. Whatever this new thing is, I don't want part of it. I don't want to get the fuck away, dude. I'm fucking out. I'm fucking out, dude. I don't want anything to do with this. Whatever this new kind of content is.
I'm thin, I'm blonde, and my coke is in Cuba. Your tan comes straight from the bottle, bitch. Mine comes straight from Aruba.
What is this? Like, YouTube demonetized me. Not even for like copyright shit. It's like they demonetized me for fucking harassment. Fucking who?
I'm scared now, to be quite honest.
Who did I harass? What are we talking about?
Oh.
So I was demonetized for harassment when I didn't fucking harass anybody. I harass everybody.
Chris, you're in the mafia.
And it's good to be a victim, right? We should all be victims. We should want to be victims. We tell our kids, grow up, be a victim. Victimhood is the best hood.
I am a white woman. I live in the 21st century. I live in the United States, so I already, won the lottery in so many ways, but I'm scared.
At the end of the day, nobody knows what the fuck is going on.
It might be that fentanyl.
Nah, that ain't no fentanyl. That's like Flocka or something, bro. That Flocka have people going crazy.
One day I got a little weed pipe, but
What the fuck?
Alaikum salam, brother.
Oh, let's go ahead and start the video. Finally. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Darth News. Even though this is not the news, this is just a insignificant, stupid, cringy YouTube channel hosted by a guy wearing a Deadpool mask who just annoys people and can't seem to figure out why I can't make money doing this. But that's not a topic for today's video. Look, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for being here. The few people who have not left the video yet, you watching this, you're the reason I'm still on YouTube. You're the reason why I haven't killed myself. And you are also the reason why I'm stressed out 5 days a week. No, I'm just projecting. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. So today's video, if you haven't been able to tell so far, is about TikTok and why TikTok is so goddamn detrimental to our youth. And even to old people. Fuck, even old people are getting seduced into this fucking TikTok lunacy. Now, I don't really have the time or the patience to break down and make fun of and mock every single TikTok we're about to watch. What I'm trying to say is that I spent about 35 minutes on TikTok. Not that long. I mean, it's way too long for anyone, but I did it so you don't have to, and hopefully you don't use TikTok, because this is just an example of why TikTok is literally, it's making people retarded. This is does that word offend you? You know what? Stop being such a midget. So I went to the recommended, right? Even though I don't actively use TikTok. So this is just shit that is being recommended to me, because I clearly do not search out this type of content on TikTok. So why it's being recommended to me, I don't fucking know. Okay. I use a VPN and all that shit. So I guess the conspiracy is TikTok is pushing this kind of depravity and insanity, so that way everyone just becomes fucking retarded. It's like, I don't know what's happening on TikTok. It's scary. So I spent 30 minutes through their live feed section where all the TikTokers go live, and I didn't cherry pick, this or that. I just kept swiping. And this is what people are fucking doing on TikTok. And I mean, there's obviously other genres on TikTok, but this seems to be what they're really pushing. And I don't fucking get it. So anyway, I'm not going to break down every video. I'm just going to show you a compilation that I have curated for you guys so you can see with your own eyes, uninterrupted, how fucking crazy the world has gone. I'm just going to let these morons, degenerates, retards on TikTok just dig their own grave. I don't need to add extra commentary on top of how fucking stupid they are. They're just going to talk and talk and talk and talk, and they're going to, expose themselves. But holy shit, if this isn't some kind of like New World Order, transhumanism bullshit, I don't know what the fuck is. Like, I thought like turning all the kids trans was like their end goal. But no. It's not about trans kids. It's about transhumans. They're turning people into fucking robots. Little, thanks for the like. Thanks for the like. Oh my God. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into it. Ain't that right? Philip Franco? Faggio. Hi. Faggio is Italian for baguette. It rhymes with baguette. So without further ado, with no more distractions, let's just go ahead and get into this compilation that I made for you guys, so you can see what I'm really talking about. And yeah, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell, sit back, relax, smoke some weed, get some wine, get some cocaine, get some hookers. I don't care what you do. Get whatever makes you feel at home. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. I'm gonna go because I don't ever want to watch this again. So you have fun watching it, and I'll see you next time. But you better not fucking skip out of it. You have to. If you made it this far, you have to watch it to the end. No cheatsies, okay? Because I know you're already looking at the next thumbnail below this video, and you're like, oh, that video is way more cool. Don't. If you do that, I fucking curse you. Stay Darth.
I'm definitely not from Jupiter. Thank you for the compliments.
Make your mama do all kinds of nasty stuff. You dirty dog.
How dare I what?
I'm human first, and how you perceive me is perfectly fine. You see me as a girl, you see me as a girl. You see me as a guy, you see me as a guy.
What the fuck?
Oh, honey, I didn't realize you identified as an asshole.
Hot dog! Hot dog! Hot dog!
I'm drunk right now.
Hot dog! Corn! Hot dog!
This isn't over until I say it's over!
You hear the ocean?
You think the wind is ever trying to tell us something and we don't know how to hear it anymore?
No.
Say something, goddammit. You're on television. You're live to the whole world.
I love roses. Thank you.
Okay.
Fantastic.
What the fuck? What the fuck is this world?
And now I want to sit back and relax and enjoy my evening. When all of a sudden I hear this agitating.
What have they done to us? What did they do to us?
Yeah, thank you for the cat paws. A rose, it smells so good. A rose, it smells so good.
Is their plan, people. These are demons. Just like the Bible says.
Tick-tock on the clock. A rose, smells so good. A rose, smells so good.
Jimmy, you know I ain't seen no shit.
Did you notice a sign in the front of my house that said dead nigger storage?
No, I didn't.
You know why you didn't see that sign?
Why?
Because it ain't there, because storing dead niggers ain't my fucking business. That's why.
Okay. Oh my God. It's hard not to laugh. I'm gonna pause there and I'm gonna share some more things. Okay, so what the hell is happening? Joni has some ideas. I'm gonna share this next video here. This will explain some things.
Discover what's possible when we think research at Case Western Reserve University.
Uh-oh, there's a fire. I think some glass broke.
Children today have less time to play.
Ow!
Unstructured play, when they could just use their own imagination.
Psychology professor Sandra Russ studies how pretend play affects child development.
What we have found in my lab is that children who express imagination in play and who express emotion in play are also able to do other things, like be creative in solving problems, better regulate their own emotions.
So what happens when good old-fashioned play is replaced with video games and structured activities? Russ's lab analyzed data of more than 700 children they've studied over 23 years.
We thought, given that there's less playtime, that children would be showing less imagination in play. But that's not what we found. What we found was that imagination in play is increasing significantly. And I think what this means is that children are resilient.
Okay, pause for a moment. What she's saying is that in the beginning of this, she says that letting a child use their imagination is vital to what we've already read, their development. And then she says that in a study, it's showing that kids are using their imaginations more today than in the past. Why is that? Adults are using their imaginations. The whole world is using their imaginations. Everyone is dressing up. Everyone is playing G.I. Joe. There's not anyone who's not a superhero. And in some costume or another. When this is interrupted as a child, so in other words, they don't get to explore these things, which is what public school systems do, and moms at work do. They end up doing these behaviors as adults. As adults, they do these things. So that's what we're looking at here. And that's why we have this massive uptick of weird adult behavior.
Things like be creative in solving problems, better regulate their own emotions.
So what happens when good old-fashioned play is replaced with video games and structured activities? Russ's lab analyzed data of more than 700 children they've studied over 23 years.
We thought, given that there's less playtime, that children would be showing less imagination in play. But that's not what we found. What we found was that imagination in play is increasing significantly. And I think what this means is that children are resilient.
And that children have a need to play and will find ways to do it.
Maybe video games are helping. Maybe the complexity of the world that they have to live in is helping them to develop imagination.
Russ points out that this is a single, limited study. She continues to research play, including looking at ways of helping children increase imagination and play.
To develop creativity and ways of coping with difficult situations later in life.
So basically what she is saying is that when we don't have the right kind of imaginative play when they're children, we end up with adults who can't function in the world. And for her to say something like maybe, of course we have the word maybe video games are helping. Are they? Because now people are dressing up like video games. They're acting out video games. That is a woman who's trained in child development. Now, I remember reading studies back in college and doing papers on child development back in the early 90s about how video games, TV violence, video game violence was harming children's brains during developmental stages. So, and so it was coming out saying we're doing damage to our children by offering these things to them at too young of an age or before, while their brain is still developing. As we wouldn't give them alcohol and we wouldn't give them drugs, why are we giving them this video game violence? And what what I was actually doing a paper on was the power of the Power Rangers, because the Power Rangers were a 90s phenomenon that was happening, and public school systems were having an outbreak of ninja type behaviors on the playgrounds as children were acting out the Power Rangers. And it was being discussed in schools what we're going to do. One of the solutions at that time was get kids in karate. So a lot of teachers and parents were being encouraged and encouraging families to get their kids in some type of martial arts or some type of, so if you had one of these little boys that was running around the playground acting out Power Rangers, you need to get them in martial arts. It teaches them discipline. It teaches them how to fight properly. It teaches them, and then they're not going to be acting it out on the playground. We're going to give them another outlet for their Power Ranger powers. So if that was available then, and it doesn't even take a dummy to realize that. I don't even need the research to realize that I could see it with my own two eyes. I'm a teacher of a preschool. I've got a classroom of 5-year-olds, and I babysit. It's evident everywhere. And so it's shocking to me that this woman would say maybe video games are a good thing for our species development. I don't think so. Not in any way, shape, or form. And to give this to children would be no different than, giving them, drugs or alcohol or something like that. Come on, it sounds silly. So let me see. I'm going to keep going. Hello. Honestly, these digital corporations need to be destroyed. They're the new church worshipped by the next generation. That's very good. A good statement there, Paul. Teachers, college, Suzanne, that's where these folks, fuckwits, idle bastards. Yes. Some more hellos. Yes, we agree. Budgie Burger. Hello. Well, today I was singing and dancing to ABBA with my granddaughter. I can neither sing nor dance, but she loved it. That's the one great thing about children, and why I prefer them over adults, is that they, don't care that I'm being silly, and I don't have to worry about what I look like to them. Or what they're going to be gossiping about me later. The only gossip you're going to hear from your granddaughters is my Nana's funny, or my Mimi is silly. My grandma makes me laugh, so it's a good thing. Welcome to an Alice Cooper acid trip. Alice Cooper went to the same church my mother did at one point. So I think that's always funny when I hear Alice Cooper, because I know my mom talking about him in church. Martial arts does teach discipline. I agreed as well. I thought it was a brilliant idea. And in fact, we had a cut down of that behavior. Eventually it disappeared. Of course, now it's dressing up and makeup and things. So I'm not sure we replaced one for the other, but at least little kids aren't karate chopping shins anymore. Massive European basis servers are all based in this country. Google are building massive property portfolio in one Dublin's most expensive postcodes. Wasn't that exciting? That was, okay. I'm going to switch back over. So Darth is going to share some more just TikToks and keep going. But I want to talk about this for a minute before we keep watching. We're going to keep going through our thing here, our article here. So number 4, so these are the things, if you're just coming in, the benefits of pretend play in children help keep them to be healthy adults. And we have a bunch of kids that have not had any pretend play who are now adults who are acting ridiculous. So they have, this is what imagination, pretend play and using the imagination, dressing up. This is a healthy thing children do. And if they don't do it as children, then they want to express it as adults. And that's what we're seeing on TikTok. It helps with their socialization, imagination. And number 4, empathy. When children play dress up, it gives them an opportunity to step into another's shoes. We saw that when we had people dressing up in fat suits and doing news reports. See life from their perspective, emulate their emotions, and understand their situation. It allows us to develop empathy. So one of the things that's happening on a species is we're developing empathy right now. If I'm right, and this is the age that our collective is, then empathy is what's being developed. It doesn't look like it at the moment, but if we were to take these adults and rewind time and put them back as if they were actually children. So I'm looking at these TikTokers as if they're 9 years old, not 19 years old or 29 years old, but 9 years old, an appropriate location for dress up and imaginary play, they would be developing empathy at that time. So it's not going to look like it from a 9-year perspective. You're not going to see that empathy, but that's what pretend play does. So the little games that children play where they're playing with their dolls or their action figures and, or each other, you're a bad guy, I'm going to go rob and, I'm going to catch you. And, that type of playing, my daughter plays sometimes where she'll have one character. It's always going to be based around these empathetic and moralistic and value type play. They're practicing the situations that they see outside in their world, either from TV or from their parents or from, being out in a group in the store or something like that. And they're going to reenact them. So giving your kids the right events to reenact with is the key here. And I don't know what we're giving our children to reenact as. Apparently it's okay to be an irrational person. We have adults who are playing and dressing up as children en masse on YouTube. There's just tons of channels, Ryan's Toy Review being one of the most popular, and Nastia, where they're dressing up their kids and they're playing with their kids and they're dressing themselves up and pretending to be superheroes and then doing very inappropriate behaviors for children to emulate. They're having adult behaviors while playing with children. So, it's not just, I'm going to rob you because you stole that pack of gum. Now they're doing that. They're telling them to strip down. They're telling them, they're going a little bit above and beyond the play because there's an adult involved. There's an adult leading the imagination. How many of these family type channels on YouTube do you see where the parents are leading the imaginative play? The kids aren't creating the stories. The parents are directing the stories, not letting the children direct them. And so we have that en masse. No empathy is being formed in these children, and they will be practicing and learning that empathy as adults now, which is what we're seeing. It's also excellent for brain building. So dressing up may seem perfectly simple, but it engages your little one's memory and brain. Why were they not doing this as children? They're doing it as adults now. It requires your child to remember how they have seen the person they are representing behave. So they have to remember that situation in the store. And then they're going to come home and act it out, or they're remembering what they saw on TV. Now, another thing that the controllers take advantage of human behaviors is that children have a need for repetition, which is why Nickelodeon and Disney would have the same episode of Barney or the same episode of Sesame Street or Dora or SpongeBob at 3 o'clock every day, so that the kid that has the ability to watch TV at 3 o'clock is going to see that same episode 5 times. By the time the week is over, your toddler now knows everything about that Dora the Explorer episode. And they're going to mimic that in their imaginative play. So they take big advantages of that. Sesame Street would be a good place to start because they would have repetitive videos. So even though that episode might be a different letter, it still was brought to you by the same character. I remember being a little girl and doing again, where it's set up higher, pretending to be accents, pretending different voices. And I remember being a little kid and acting like, Count Dracula, and you'd be like, there's 3 Cheerios, and I'd eat my Cheerios, 1 Cheerio, So a repetitive of that character. So even if the number's not the same, the character remained the same. And they had such a archetype that labeled them that it was easy to put that into anything, and you're like, it's brilliant. For everything they're telling as if they're just learning about child development today in 2023 is fucking laughable. This stuff has been in place and been known about since the turn of the century, honestly, if not way before that, because it's my understanding that Freud and Jung and all of those, Plato, the whole 9 yards, Archimedes, they were well aware of human behaviors all the way back then and studying them en masse. They would have actually probably learned a lot more back then because they had more of a sample group. Whereas today, we're only learning what we've got going on at this moment. The way that we speak and other details of their life, whether they are imitating a real person or a fictional character, they have to have recall details of their past lives, of their lives, and act them out. So they need to be able to recall details of their life and then act those details out. So whose details are they acting out? Do you get what I'm saying there? Someone's details are being acted out. So as we go back and we watch some more of these TikToks, think about when you're seeing these adults doing these, whose imagination are they I see a lot of them dressing up in the anime type faces, in the drag type faces, in the television and music type, clothing and so forth. That's who they're mimicking. That's what they're doing as adults.
Thank you for the heart. I love you too.
Eligible bachelor, $1 million bow. That's whiter than what's spilling down your throat. Exterior like fish eggs, the interior like suicide.
I'm trying to pick a different song.
Cheat on your man, man, that's how you get a his head.
Oh my gosh, thanks for the little heart beers.
Like it's all on the big
A hot dog? Delicious. Thank you for the hot dog.
I love roses. I love glizzies. Thank you for the hot pepper. Spicy. Cool.
Roses. No spicy. I'm hungry.
Gang, 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 gang. Ice cream so good, slay, huh? Balloon. Gang, gang. Ice cream so good, slay, huh? Balloon.
I already won the lottery. I was born in the US of A, baby.
There you go. Everybody loves you because you're perfect. You're perfect. You are fucking perfect.
And as backup, I have a Swiss passport.
Sorry, officers, am I legally allowed to have my penis out today?
Do whatever you want.
Okay, so that's not against the law?
Balloon.
It's not against the law as long as you're not masturbating and you're not fully erect and it's not for sexual gratification.
Okay, cool. Nice.
The police clearly didn't care.
Starting at midnight tonight, the Sheriff's Department will no longer detain people for crimes such as theft, shoplifting, drug use, vandalism, battery, and a whole host of other non-serious, non-violent crimes that affect the quality of life of people here in Los Angeles County.
I ask God respectively to blow the planet up immediately.
That's the same way I feel. That's what I've been trying to tell everybody.
Seriously, I mean, I want God to blow it up now instead of doing this, okay?
Ever so often, we have to let the general public know that we can still blow shit up.
Goddamn right. That's the only way I work, Cap.
You know, I promise you, no one will ever know anyway. Wait.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Won't be long before you nothing.
I don't care about that.
Any of that. You don't care about your family's legacy.
What I'm doing is my family's legacy. If I can't change things here, if I can't have an effect, I don't care what happens to me.
Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron.
Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ron. Hello
Thank you.
Hey Alex, hello Alex. I cost like 20 hours, so okay. Do you take Alex on holidays or no?
But he was in the middle of a contract extension.
Hi, Bacon. Thank you. That was unsettling. As my owner would say, she gets very worried about me. 5 Nights at Freddy? I'll be doing, my owner, I believe, will be doing makeup looks for that. Hello, Ansley. Hello, Ansley. How are you? Des Moines? I know Des Moines. Or as people who don't live there say, Des Moines. Nah, this is a chica.
E-bag. I shouldn't say that. But I'm e-bagging. I contribute to you nothing. You contribute to me. Glizzy's in somebody else's mouth. Somebody's got a glizzy in their mouth tonight. I bet they do. Who is it? We don't know. But it's happening. E-bagging for the e-bag. E-bagging for the e-bag. I give you laughs. In turn, you give me gifts. E-bagging for the e-bag. Send me gifts. Why? Panhandling, 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 panhandling. You go to street corner. Guy on the street corner says, please, sir, can you spare some change? And you just walk by him and go, man, I wish I wouldn't have to walk by this guy. But guess what? We're coming live and in person on your phone now. Live and in person on your phone. I hate pretzels. E-bagging on the e-bag. E-bagging for the e-bag. Live and in person. Please, sir, will you spare some change?
I think she likes being painted. She appears to like the paintbrush. I forgot the creator created her teeth.
Okay. Now, just right there in that one, I'm going to go on. Keep reading, because that's beautiful. So, what else does the imagination do for us? Let's talk about it. Number 6, motor skills. If you notice, that guy is painting and has in the behind him a whole shelf of, jugs of paint. Role playing and dress up can help your child's motor skills, as they can be imitating the actions of the characters they are representing. They will jump and run like their favorite superheroes, dance like princesses, and fight like warriors. Dressing up and putting on buttons, pinning capes, tying laces, or attaching Velcros on costumes will help improve coordination. So the species is getting a big motor skill boost here, with their learning coordination by putting on all of their costumes. That's interesting. How will we all cope? I don't know. It's a vocabulary building. When children role play their characters and act out scenarios, they have to imagine what the characters would say. This helps expand their vocabularies, as they will try to recollect words or phrases that they've heard their characters use, whether it be from reality or books, television shows, or movies. So again, this is a moment that's stunted, because the entire world right now is copying TV. Everyone's acting. Everybody I meet, I'm not sure if that's their personality and there's an actor copying them, or if they have copied an actor. Do you know what I mean? How can I say that differently? are the majority of people walking around in their know thyself, or are they just acting out and mimicking people that they see, who they want to emulate, who they want to be like, because they're still children. And it's important to copy role models. Remember when we were kids and it was about third grade that so about 9 years old, right before you get in the double digits, 20 years, that we were asked to write a report about our hero. And of course, every dad was hoping you'd write a report about them. My dad, the hero, he's the fireman. But you had to pick a hero, and there was always that kid in the class that picked like Spider-Man or something, Superman, etc. That's it. That's what I'm seeing a lot of. Planet of the Apes. Plan it. That's very good. I like that. I'm going to leave that there. Their emotional development. So again, as we're saying, that what we're seeing today is a delayed reaction. These adults should have been doing this as children, and they didn't. So now they're doing it as adults. When children are imagining and acting out scenarios with the characters are part of, if they're able to imagine how they would behave in that situation and how they would process it. So they'll pretend. Now, I remember being young and doing this behavior oftentimes in the shower. So when I would take a shower, I would have conversations with whatever person at school was giving me shit. And I would talk it out of what I could say to them, what maybe I should have said if I'd had another chance to do that altercation again, what I'll say next time. And I would talk with myself. That's very normal for children to do. I'd say it's even normal for adults to a degree. But I'm seeing these TikToks and YouTube and all of this. They're talking to themselves. They're having that private conversation in the shower as an adult on a TikTok for the entire world to see. So when they're talking about someone else who's treating them badly, it's a projection. They're looking at their own face on that screen. They don't see the chat. They don't have the chat. They're looking at their own avatar or their own face looking back at them. Don't you find that interesting? And so then I have to think about this meme now, because as you're saying, if I had a chance to do that, I'd pop them in the face for saying that to me. They're racist, bigots, this, that, They're actually looking at their own face when they're saying that. Think about that for a minute. That's a behavior. That's an age and stage of understanding. How many times in the movies do they show people going in the room? Okay, just say you like her. Dude, just say you like her. And he's talking to himself in the mirror. He's giving himself a pep talk by literally looking at himself. So that's what I see going on. That's projection. That's a way of externalizing my internal thoughts onto something else, my own reflection. So when I see TikTokers and YouTubers who are extremely verbally violent and call for stuff that's out of context to what's being discussed, I know they're looking at their own avatar when they're talking. Most of them will look at themselves, especially because the avatars are designed to light up like that, making that, more noticeable, that you're the one who's got a little echo boom coming off of yourself. So even if you're talking to the other person, your eyes are drawn to yourself. You think that's intentional? I've always have. I know that's what the controllers want you to do. They want you to be talking to yourself. Maybe that's part of the good guys situation here, because there's so much evil going on. Maybe part of the good is that you're forced to talk to yourself. You're forced to project yourself over and over and over again and look at yourself in the mirror. Some of you are going to fall into that mirror and become hypnotized by your own image. That's called narcissism, or the narcissist. You're either going to be controlled by your image of being the tough guy, or controlled by the image of being the pretty girl in class or the pretty boy in class, whatever floats your boat. Rather or not. Now, what is going to happen when people stop seeing what they're seeing, when they have to start actually looking at each other and seeing something different? I don't know. Sounds kind of scary. You know what I mean there? Okay, so this next part talks about the emotional development. Oh wait, we just did that one. So while acting out an operation as a doctor or maybe rescue as a firefighter, they're able to overcome these fears and feelings of hopelessness and become emotionally mature. So that goes along with that idea of talking to myself. So as a kid would be, you know, talking that through, kicking a rock down the dirt road, you know, I hate that Bobby at school. He's such a meanie. You're talking to yourself as you're having that conversation, no one with you. And it helps you work out your fears and feelings so that when you come up against that situation the next time, you're prepared for it. What are these people talking to themselves about? You know, just that person's this and that person's that, and I'm going to call the police, and I'm going to call the cops, and I'm going to tell your mom. This is the self-talk, you know, not a different, you know, next time he says that, I'm going to punch him right in the mouth. We can't even do that. But that's the behavior that's happening. So you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt, as though these people are extremely scary because they're adults. That's where I have a problem. When in a species as a collective, so the adults of the world, which is 75% of our developmental stage, our human life, 75% of it is spent as an adult. 25% is as a child. We have a very small window in order to get this right before we have 75% of our life left to live, based off of what we either gained or didn't as children. That sounds like Armageddon to me. That sounds like the end of the world to me. This is what sounds like hell. High school hell, a bunch of high schoolers that never got their shit together, running amok in a school. They're emotionally immature. And they have feelings of helplessness. They've never overcome their fears or helplessness. Now they're adults. Another thing I find interesting about this too, as we watch more of these videos, is gender exploration. So this is a moment in our child development and our development as a human being where the identity, gender is explored. So again, another absolutely valid point to show that this is happening en masse as a collective. We are in our tween-age years because we have a major gender identity problem. We are just now exploring our gender identities, where we should have done this, or the generation that's at play should have been doing this when they were children, right? But we're talking about a bigger level. So it's the human collective. We suppressed our gender identification. We made that not appropriate. I'll give you some examples of how this works. Blue means boy, pink means girl. That was everywhere during the Industrial Revolution. We completely split. Now, you can debate me here, but I'll throw this in before you do. Our past history has had both male and females filling roles such as cooking, cleaning, and hunting, etc. There would have been definite female, male our archetypes, the very faint qualities that were, you know, God given, if you will, or encoded in our DNA, right? Women are more this, men are more that, women have this, men have that. These were given to us so that we could work together. As a pair, we now have a whole. That's why they say, you know, you come together. Now, both of you have the opposite. That's where opposites attract. They're not talking about a fat guy with a skinny girl, or a skinny girl with a super, you know, a fat girl with a super skinny guy. We're not talking about Laurel and Hardy opposites attract. We're talking about having an equal yoke. Both oxen can carry their weight. In other words, when the men of the group go off to hunt, the women, they know that the women can not only care for the children, but protect the children as well. Those women are just as tough. So if something comes into this camp, I don't need to worry. They got this shit. That's how it works. And we've now made people so helpless and reliant that we're actually completely confused about what's what. And now we have two people who both act like girls, or two people who both act like men, coming together and trying to work in a unit, and it's all falling to bits. And that's the problem. We have to have these opposite traits in order to function if I'll give you another example, if every machine in the factory does the same thing, I can't make a car. I have to have different machines making different parts. I have to have different things coming together for the group. It takes a community to raise a child, or a village to raise a child. That 12 archetypes of Shakespeare and Plato, or Polymus, or whoever came up with the other, whoever it was, Young, they've all done it. There are different groups. So in a group, you have just because I'm amongst friends, if I go around and I explore different streams or different pockets of StreamYards and YouTube, right? And I go over to this one and they already have, a 50 sub average group, right? That, like this, maybe I have 10, maybe they have 50, but they hold an identity. So in our room, we're kind of small. So we have a funny guy, and we have a smart guy, and we have a sassy guy, and we have the sexy guy, and we have the, the one that's the guy that's, the tough guy, whatever. We have these archetypes. And when a new person comes in, we kind of feel them out. Are they, this goes back to clicks. Are they, a hole that we don't have? Maybe we don't have somebody that, fills that part of our group yet. So yeah, come on over and hang out with us. But you notice when channels start to get bigger and they get past maybe that 50 sub mark, or that 50 participating sub mark. So once you hit the 1K, 500, I'd say it goes to 1K. That's where I usually notice the fall apart. Once a channel reached 1,000, that's when I started to find that the group falls to bits. And so now it starts to look more like a cult following, in which case you have subs that are praising and worshiping their presenter. And in all reality, I think that's a huge reason why my channels never even made it to 1,000 subs. And I had actually, if you've been with me all the way back, you would have heard me predict that behavior happening if we were to ever reach 1,000 subs. There was a part of me that was not that excited. In fact, a large part of me, I wasn't really looking forward to hitting past. I think I got up to 980 something subs, and then I was gone. So, but it was a bummer, because I would have liked to have seen that experiment here, but I've seen it there. So I've seen it happen enough times. And you lose that personality, you lose that uniqueness, you lose that bond, and you start to see not a community working together to share a common goal, but you start to have that maybe cultish type following happen. You're a god, thank you for bringing, so I always watch channels to see what happens to them once they reach that K mark, because behaviors change, and I've seen it so many times now that it's predictable. You know what I'm saying? But going back to gender exploration, we have a lot of gender exploration going on. We have a lot of immature behavior. We have a lot of adults deciding and controlling children's lives, and telling them that it's okay to pretend, because they're pretending. They're still a child. They've never learned healthy pretending. And now as adults, they have no fucking clue. And then another thing is the problem solving. Blinded by the light, can't see own projections, but have problems pointing out others. That's one of those interesting things, Bri, where people have said, you can't judge me. Don't judge me. You don't know me. Don't judge me. Jerry Springer stuff. But the pointing out everyone's faults is absolutely judging. We have a whole world full of people judging. You're judging me, I'm judging you, and we're probably the only people on the planet who say, you're damn right I'm judging you. I'm judging you on your actions. You're acting like a dick. That's how you're acting. Or you just don't like me because I'm black. Or you don't like me because I'm a man dressed as a woman, or whatever your hang up is. No, you're acting like a douche is what you're doing. That's what I'm judging you on. You're a man going into a public bathroom where women are and have no problems with that. Now, I'm not saying that you're a pervert, but I'm saying you could be. And the fact that you can't recognize that as a female, maybe I've been attacked or abused in some way, that I might be uncomfortable there. My uncomfortability doesn't outweigh your uncomfortability. And that seems to be a massive hang up there that goes on with the Karen movement, is that my ability to be comfortable in this space outweighs your ability to be comfortable in this space. And that's learning, emotional development, and what? Empathy. Where was the empathy? Empathy. And so the fact that they're challenging these things like, well, you know, what about me? I'm actually a girl. And when I go in there, I don't want to have a man in there. But I'm not a man. I'm a woman. I identify as a woman. I get that. But I identify as a woman too. And I've been abused. And I'm freaking out. And I don't like that. Okay? So why can't you respect me? I'm all for the other bathroom. 20 years ago, I sat in on a panel of moms that were discussing, it was like one of those research panels the universities put out. I love these things, and I've been a part of several of them, where they ask you questions and they want to know your opinions in order to create safe places or new products. On one of the ones I sat in was where they were discussing safe places for women, mommies, to go at the mall to breastfeed their children, because the Gen X generation, as shitty as we get told all of our bad faults, there are some really good things about Gen X. Gen X brought back natural deliveries. Gen X also brought back breastfeeding en masse. So we also were a generation who had the majority stay-at-home moms than the one before us. So we went back in time and reverted back to our grandmothers. That's what we did. And so it was a lot of breastfeeding moms, myself included. We were complaining. I can't have my boob out because some pervert guy is going to complain and I'm going to be arrested for nursing my baby at the bench in front of the cookie company. So malls were looking for alternatives. They don't want to lose the moms in the mall. That's their income. So I sat in on a panel, and surefire enough, not even 2 years later, our local mall put in, maybe even been a year, it wasn't very long, our local mall put in a station for families. They put in a station that had a separate area with a TV, some floor mats, a nice comfortable couch, a bathroom that was single stalled so that dads could go in with their daughters or sons, moms could go in with their sons and not have to send their children into the sex bathroom. We all had that moment where our boys are too big to go in the girls' bathroom, but we don't want them to go by themselves in the boys' bathroom. We're not quite ready for our 8-year-old to venture into that bathroom. And so we would watch the bathroom like a hawk. We would knock on the door. Is anyone in there? Okay, son, go, go, go. And we would stand and watch the door. No man get in. And I remember I have 3 boys, or I have 3 boys. They're all grown now. But I remember being that Nazi mom at the door. No, I'm sorry. My boys are in there. My boy is in there. My son is in there. He'll be out in just a moment. I can honestly tell you, I've never had a man in all those years say to me, fuck you, bitch, I'm going in the bathroom anyway. I never had. Every one of them said, oh, okay, yeah, right. You're doing the right thing. Good. I never had anyone challenge that. They all understood why I was doing it and why I didn't trust them. They're a complete fucking stranger to me. But for some reason today, that doesn't play out anymore. I've seen all of these patterns play out over and over and over again. And there is no empathy. There was, but now that generation of kids has grown up and there isn't any. And now they're behaving in such bizarre ways. And you know, that be one of them. A lack of emotional development, gender exploration. That's why we have a gender identity problem. We're teenagers. We're having an identity crisis at the same time that we're trying to explore our identities and our genders. And en masse, we have a huge problem. How old are we as a collective? It also helps with problem seeking, or solving, rather. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to can I be Bill Gates? Yes. You want to be the Bill Gates type? Of course you can, Kirby. Okay. All right, so back to Darth. I'll play a little bit of this. I do have another article. I did go over my 2-hour mark. I might be at 2.5 hours, but it's okay because I'm enjoying this and I'm not going to break it up. Okay. I have to get these things out of my mind because otherwise I just sit here and annoy everyone in the house with, you know, I can't, or I just can't watch it. You know, that's another thing I have to do a lot of times because I just consistently see human behavior and everything. I can't not notice the huge elephant in the room. Watch these adults be acting like children. Watch these adults acting, I'm going to say it, be acting. Watch these adults be acting like children.
They're scary.
I think that by the end of the song, we can get to 100,000 likes. I know, I sound crazy, but I think we can make it happen. And if you send a gift, I'm going to shout you out. Here we go. And again, if you're not already following me and you like my voice or the vibes, you totally should follow me on TikTok. I know sometimes we forget because we're so entertained by how exciting the live is. Here we go. Old suitcase, clean getaway. I'm the one who takes the blame again. New day, but the same lines. I feel like a victim of the dollar sign. All these years on my own, fight my fight all alone. Till you came, don't you know, don't you know. Thank you for the follows, guys. Baby, you're the highlight of my low life.
Soccer, 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 soccer.
Thank you. Thank you for the like. Thank you for the like. Welcome. Thank you for the like. Hot dog. Thank you for the like. Thank you for the like.
Let's get to 1 mil likes. We're almost there. Let's get to 1 mil likes. We're almost there. Go to sleep. Hush, hush, hush. Wake up, bitch. I'm an island boy. I'm an island boy.
Oh boy,
Sonic Hay. That's my slime. That's my slat. That's my slime. That's my slat. I wish I could sing, but that's why I do this instead. I wish I could sing, but that's why I do this instead. Right, Tiny Danny. Wow, mariachi. Is it because you think I'm Mexican? Howdy, bitch. Howdy, bitch. Oh my God, a cuddly little seal. Hey, look, a monkey. I don't know what to say for that. Hey, look, a cuddly little seal. Aww. That's my slime, that's my slat.
Like, yes, Tanner, stop. Hey, Bray Bray. Am I still echoing? Don't come from my bathroom. No, I'm here for it. I just don't take a lot. I don't know. I just don't like look in the bathroom pictures.
Thank you.
I'm not part of the club. And a lot of you listening to me right here, right now, you're not part of the club either. And what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their fucking club. That pisses them off. What club am I talking about?
Tap, 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 thank you for the likes. Tap, 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 thank you for the likes. Tap, tap.
Fuck Miss Johnson. Oh my God. That's too funny, bro. That's too funny. I got something wild in the music video I'm ready for you guys to see. Nobody going crazy? Well, I am. Alex teacher too? Nah, that's Miss Smallsy. Miss Smallsy was my math teacher, and Miss Johnson was my English teacher.
We have to hurry. Can we complete the slide full? We have to hurry. Ooh, Kathy looks pretty. Thank you. Thank you for the rolls. Too heavy, Ryan. Too heavy. Jonathan, thank you for the TikTok. Stop. Lightning scares me.
Oh, I'm an inside cat. You can't catch me. How long have I been doing this? I just started. I did this for a few hours earlier, and now I'm back. Ooh, Elden Ring. Balls! I can't play sports.
No, she can't. Okay, so that got me thinking of something. So I went over and grabbed it, pull it up. So I'll share this with you. So when I was talking about these people are looking at themselves on the camera, especially that one, I mean, you can see which ones are doing it. All right, so let's look at this behavior. So the 5 stages of self-awareness explain when babies recognize themselves in the mirror. Look there. So this is a healthy, normal developmental stage for children where they start to look at themselves in the mirror. When do babies recognize themselves? There's somewhat spooky developmental stage that children go through as they develop self-awareness. So again, how old are we? Are we still babies? Some of us. And during this time, they apt to demonstrate a bizarrely splintered sense of self. Splintered, they use a bizarre, splintered sense of self. He showed a 3-year-old Jennifer in a video of herself sitting with a sticker on her forehead, and he asked her what she saw. It's Jennifer. It's a sticker, she begins correctly. But why is she wearing my shirt? So the 3-year-old doesn't understand that that's a different child, doesn't know themselves yet. They haven't seen themselves. So when do babies become self-aware? It's a long, strange journey. Self-awareness, it turns out, comes in stages. Although Jennifer could comprehend the actions in the video, there was a disconnect when it came to understanding that that little girl in the video was in fact her. And a little boy gazing into a mirror may understand that he's looking at his own reflection, but not yet grasp that the image, that's the image is what he looks like all the time. Sans mirror. I'll say this, that's where we get, like, when these kids are constantly looking themselves with their little ears, their jacked up ears, and, you know, their pointy Spock ears, elfie ears, and they see themselves repeatedly on camera looking a certain way or with the filter on to make themselves look more like a mouse or prettier, whatever it is. They think they look like that all the time. That's what's going to end up happening. And we know, we've seen sci-fi movies that show that exact thing. So an older kid might comprehend the permanence of the image, but an older kid still not fully understands that this is also the image that other people see. At some point, of course, we all level up to the fundamental sense of self, but it unfolds through a long and complex set of milestones, many of which go completely unnoticed. So when do babies become self-aware? Emory University. I've sat on some of their, that's the university that I've sat in on some of their panels there. They describe how children learn to identify themselves and their loved ones as distinct entities from birth until age 5. Each of this guy's stages revolves around the mirror test for babies, an assessment of self-awareness that rose to prominence in the 1970s. Chimpanzees, dolphins, and even elephants have passed the most basic mirror test, which means that they can look in a mirror and gesture towards a tiny odorless mark that was painted on their faces while they were sleeping. But the mirror test does not end with dotted dolphins. There's 5 stages based on studies of how newborns and toddlers interact with mirrors, photographs, and video recordings. Do you want to know what they found? Stage 1, manipulating the mirror. Stage 1 is the mirror, baby in the mirror, manipulating the mirror, and the basic self-awareness. What I'm going to do, and 4. Oh, did I say there were 5? The ups and downs of the objects, that's 2 to 3 years. By 4 to 5 years, they have the dawn of self-consciousness. I think that's where we're sitting. I'll actually just do a video where I'll read this article flat out, so you can just wait. If you want to read it yourself, I'll throw the link in. If you don't, wait for me, and here in a little bit, I'll take the time to read that and record that separately. Will that work? Okay. So now that I know this, now when I'm watching the TikTok videos, I'm going to have this in my mind about how children learn about self-awareness through seeing their own reflection, which is what they're doing when they're looking into their phones and doing TikTok videos, as well as paying attention to the tween years of pretend play and what happens there through childhood expression of the imagination. Back to Darth.
See, it's what you do after your 9 to 5. You just come on here and be a cat girl. Thanks for the follow. How long have I been a furry? I'm not a furry. I'm just a cat. My favorite movie, Labyrinth.
What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck?
You just have to show up.
Show up?
Yes.
Show up?
Yes.
I fucking showed up for you. I was staying there for you. Say it. Say it louder.
I've abandoned my child. I've abandoned my child. I've abandoned my boy.
How about another joke, Marie?
No, I think we've had enough of your jokes.
What do you get when you cross a mental alona with a society that abandons him and treats him like this? I tell you what you get! You get what you fucking deserve!
Don't you dare, don't.
I love it.
That's it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I get to do what I like to do.
Yeah.
But it's on camera now.
What were you doing before this? Yeah.
I was teaching high school.
Holy shit.
Nah.
Yeah.
Actually?
Yes, I was a special education teacher.
Wow.
For a whole school year.
Wow.
The Screen Actors Guild is on strike. I'm joining the Writers Guild, which I'm also a member of. We've been striking for the last 3 months. I can't join them on the picket lines because I'm on vacation with my family, so this is my contribution. Why are we striking? What's at stake? There's some big things and there's one monumental thing. The big things have to do with...
Isn't it weird, though, when you have a kid and all your dreams and hopes just go right out the window?
What changed for you? What went out the window? What plans? You do everything exactly the same.
No, I mean, I love what I'm doing. No, like, say, you know, before you're married and have children, you want to go live in India for a year. You can do it, but you can't do it once you have a family.
You want to go live in India?
I don't want to go live in India.
Do you want to go to India? Go to India. Seriously, go to India.
What about you? Do you want to go to India?
I'm not going to India. You can go to India.
I get what he's talking about. You know, honestly, like when I found out about
I totally, like, I just had this flash of me, like, in a white Ford Bronco, and I'm just hauling ass for Canada, man, and through the choppers tape and the whole thing, and I bust through the border, and I'm a free man. That's all I kept thinking, man. You know what I'm saying? It was a flash.
Wait, what do you mean?
What do you, don't look at me. I mean, we can talk
That's right,
about
you
our
did it.
fears here. I mean, yeah, I mean, honestly, like if Doc Brown screeched up in front of you in the DeLorean, open the doors, like, hey, Allison, come on, I got the car here. What do you want to do? No part of your brain would have been like, you know, maybe we'll go back to that night, and I would maybe put a condom on Ben's dick. That would not, you never got that flash?
No, and I don't know what you're talking about.
Where we're going, we don't need roads. Exactly. You wouldn't do that?
I don't know who Doc Brown is. What are you talking about?
Doc Brown is the guy who's Christopher Lloyd. He invented the DeLorean, the time machine. He's the one who made the time machine. It's the time machine. Everyone has the time machine image.
Hey, I have a really good idea. Why don't the two of you get into your time machine, go back in time and fuck each other?
Who needs a time machine? This is my time machine. I'm going to throw you in my DeLorean, gun it to 88. You are a funny motherfucker, man. Jeez.
Am I dead? A radio listing is saying that I died in a helicopter crash in country and my father received a medal.
Condition is not the issue here. You need to focus on preventing any subsequent attacks. Everything else is irrelevant.
A news report saying that I'm dead is irrelevant.
Until the person or persons who blew up that train are in custody, yes.
Goodwin. One soldier to another. Am I dead?
Part of your brain remains activated.
What about the rest of me? I can see my hands and my feet. They still move.
Thanks for the likes.
They are a manifestation. They're just your way of making sense of all this.
That's not what it's all about.
So what are you saying? Are you saying that I'm imagining this? I'm imagining that I'm still...
You see me as a guy. You see me as a guy.
I'm imagining that I'm still alive, that I'm in this capsule.
Nobody's castrating kids. What do you mean? That's dumb. Why do you automatically go to gender reaffirming surgery?
I ask God respectively to blow the planet up immediately. Seriously. I mean, I want God to blow it up now instead of doing this, okay?
Yeah, thank you for the cat paws.
There's not going to be a swimming pool, you stupid slut. There won't even be a house.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it on the down low.
I mean, do you want me to go?
I think if you stay, something bad will happen. I think that might hurt you. You don't want to get hurt, do you?
If I'm crazy or why I'm not as crazy as I feel like I should be. Because I've been through a lot of shit. On paper, I should be fucking crazy. On paper, all the shit I've been through, I should be fucking crazy.
Okay, so that was Darth's video. I thought it was pretty clever. He's really good at just throwing clips together and kind of making a story out of clips. You want to talk about Master Clipper, I would say he's in there. So I have another article that I'm going to read. If you're sticking with me this long, hopefully you will get a bang out of this one as well. Let me go. It's going to be, is that the one I just read? No, this is the one I have read. No, this one. Okay. Okay. So this is going along with the same. This is from Healthline. Playing dress up benefits and how to start and some tips. How do you do it? Look at the little girl in her mommy's pants. What do you pretend to be when you're a child? Not an adult, but we're talking about adult children. Are you a doctor, an astronaut? Is this the one I just read? This is the one I read, isn't it? No, this is a different one. Okay. It's going to say a lot of the same stuff. So let me just get down to it. So perhaps you pretend to be a paleontologist wearing a camouflage vest and digging up dinosaur bones. We have some of those adults doing that. Playing dress up as a child is something of a rite of passage. It says it right there. It's a rite of passage. This childhood pastime is very common. But did you know that there are social and emotional benefits to dressing up? It's true. Dress up play can help children grow and learn. So our species, our collective, the people, the group of humans on the planet right now are children. And the thing that they're experiencing right now is absolutely normal for their development. If they were children, they're adults because it's a collective. But this is the reason why my little idea here, my little thesis, theory, whatever, connect the dots, la, 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 I like, because it's the first thing that I've ever found that actually gives me, I guess, the proverbial quote unquote hope. Because if I recognize that we're actually just children, and I look at the human species from that pulled out position of a a telescope or a microscope, and I don't zoom in so close, but I pull out and I look at it, the whole petri dish, then I can have 1, a little bit of compassion, 2, a little bit of understanding, 3, maybe some tolerance. But if I look at you individually, I fucking can't hate you. I can't stand you. I despise you, hate you. But if I can pull back and I look at you as if you are a petri dish of human development, a collective of consciousness, then I start to have some sympathy for you. I start to recognize that this is a growing stage that we're in, and that as a group, we're going to get through this. We have to defeat the bully in the schoolyard. So if we're all so busy tattling on each other, we're never going to see, who it is. You ever had I had a relationship once, and every time we would get in a fight, it would be because I just realized one day, I was like, do you know that we never fight, but when we do, it's always because of this person who has said something, right? And it was having a mutual couple friends. So I would tell her things and he would tell him things. Those two would talk, and then she would either tell me what my husband had said, or he would tell him what I had said. His wife had said, right? And now we're arguing over something that didn't even matter. This wasn't even something that would have been worth arguing over. It was absolute ridiculous. In fact, do you not realize that this is these people interjecting their problems onto us? They clearly don't talk to each other or something, because all they want to do is talk about me and you in their spare time. And boom, we're not friends with them anymore. I didn't even realize that was happening in our relationship. Yeah. I see it. I see what this couple is doing to us. You can see that in streams on a bigger level. You have the only thing these people have to do is talk about you. Why? Do they have nothing else to talk about but you and what you're doing? Jesus Christ. We used to say in high school, when we knew people like that, we used to go, get a life. Quit gossiping. Quit spreading shit. Quit talking about other people. Get a life. Find something to do. Get a hobby. Do something else. You sound pathetic, at least to me and my friends. Are there benefits? So as previously mentioned, there are several benefits. It's essential for children. It's it's how we learn and interact with the world. So this is right now how the entire species collectively, our age of Aquarius, is learning how to interact with the world. And it helps us to manage stress and build positive relationships. So for all the fuck ups we're doing, it's because we're children. That's why we're fucking this up. And we don't have good leadership. That's what I'm trying to do. get you there. So, oh my God, I'm acting like a child. Jesus, I do sound like my 11-year-old self. Yeah, and you're 50, you know? Oh, and instead of being a dick, why don't you change that? Because nobody's going to judge you around here. We're all okay with you growing up. It's okay to make mistakes. You're just a child. It's okay to say, you know what? I've just recognized I'm an adult child. Dressing up is a form of imaginative play. And imaginative play boosts problem solving and self-regulation skills. It creates situations and scenes to act out in social events. It also helps kids practice language skills and their social skills. Playing with another child or adult requires teamwork, cooperation, and sharing, something we're not doing. So we're not there yet. We're practicing that. We haven't mastered it yet, which means we're probably in an odd year, because that makes us 13. 13 being an odd number, 13 and odd number years for human development means that it's a building year. And even numbers means it's a mastering year. So you build the idea, concept, the means necessary to become that in the next year. And in the next year, you master it. So you spend this year learning to walk, and then your second year, an even year, you master walking, and then you start running in your third year, and you master jumping. So it's these building mastering. Again, Freemason talk, so you can see why. Okay, so let me go down here. Maybe this wasn't the article I was looking for. Hold on. This isn't the article. Here it is. All right, this is the one I wanted, I believe. So this is from Montessori Toddler. And what age does pretend play stop? That's the question. I know when it starts. When can I expect it to stop? And the importance and impact on child development. Pretend play, also known as imagination play or make-believe play, is an essential part of the child's development. See, everybody agrees. And it helps them develop physical and intellectual skills and work out their emotions, something that everyone is right now, very emotional. You remember your 6-year-old? When children play, they use their imaginations to create new worlds and experiences. This helps them understand different perspectives and develop empathy for others. So they are developing empathy. They just don't realize it yet. And we can't see it yet because what we're seeing is a lot of me. But that's what causes the empathy. First, we identify ourselves. Then we identify others. Then we identify others in ourselves. So we're only at stage 1 of this 3-stage process. It's also an excellent way, and here's the kicker, to relieve stress and have fun. So in a stressful world, in an Armageddon, end of the world scenario where we have everything and anything going wrong in everyone and everything's life, this is a way, separating and disconnecting from reality into imaginative play is a way to relieve stress. And so that tells me right there that I can expect this for a while, because I'm going to continue to do it. And even more people are going to jump on this bandwagon as ways of relieving stress, as they come to recognize that if I go online and I make a cute avatar and I can make this persona, I can be this person that I otherwise can't be in real life. So what are these ages? So as early as age 5, a child begins to display fondness for pretend games. But what age does pretend play stop? So pretend, here's where you're going to see it. That's why I said, hang on, because we're the big kids. We're just now turning 13. The rest of the school still thinks poop emojis and poop jokes are funny. They still think that, they still eat their boogers, okay? They're still like slime, and they still like doing finger painting, all right? We're over here, they're over there. So where does it end? Around the double digits. So it's going to end here soon. And that imagination is going to come back in a different way. Hello, Bandit. Good to see you. Hello. Bandit will tell you I've been talking about this stuff forever, haven't I, Bandit? If you're still in, you haven't gone on your way, thank you. But at what age does it stop? So pretend play is an important part of childhood development. It helps children learn about the world around them, developing their imaginations and working through their emotions. Most children stop playing pretend around what age? 10 or 12. That's also the point where they stop believing in magic. It's also the point that they give up on the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. These things have all gone to the wayside. Think of the ages that are in films. Stand By Me, The Goonies, even The Lost Boys. These are all 12 and 13-year-old boys. These are boys going from one age into the next. They're moving transitionally. It's a coming of age procedure to let go of the imagination and grab onto the reality. That's what turning 13 is. That's why we have a rite of passage right here. So, most children stop playing around 10 or 12, but some children may continue to play pretend even longer. Here we discuss what playing is and the 5 stages of creative play and the benefits for your child in their development. So I like this article because it talks about ages of it. So we already know what it is. So let's talk about the ages of it. The theory of the mind. Oh, wait, maybe I do have to read that part. Yeah. Fantasy helps children develop their theory of mind. Okay, that's what fantasy does. Theory of mind is the ability to understand that other people have different thoughts, feelings, and beliefs than you do. It is a complex skill that develops over time. That's what we're seeing happen en masse. A lot of people are developing this skill right now. So it looks nasty, it looks ugly, but I'm hoping that they'll come around, because as a human stage, we do get to another point here if we've had the right environment to allow this. I'm not seeing that right environment, so I'm not holding out a lot of hope here. But and especially because I also believe that the devil, if you will, the global elites, the leaders, I don't care, Freemasons, whatever Kool-Aid, the aliens, whatever Kool-Aid you like, okay? I'm talking about older kids that pay attention and write notes and do science experiments on us. They're still 12, okay, regardless of how much money and where they live. They are giving us an environment that does not foster this imaginative play. And so now we have a generation of children who are adults now, who've never been fostered, and they're acting out their fantasies in their adulthood. And they're learning now. They should have learned it then, but they didn't. So they're learning it now. And they have the theory of mind is being played out. And they're learning to understand that people have different thoughts. Flat earth, round earth. Opposites. What age do we learn about opposites, right? That's preschool. And we've just now mastered opposites. I get it. You're a boy, I'm a girl. But now I'm going to play with opposites. Now I'm going to mess around with them. I'm going to start seeing you have a different feeling and you have a different thought. Maybe flat earth, round earth doesn't fucking matter and we're spending too much time arguing about it. I just want to swing. Get off the fucking swing. Quit yelling about flat earth. Go over there under that tree and do it. I just want to swing. I'm not interested. Do you get what I'm saying? It sounds harsh. And I'm not speaking of anyone that I know currently, but I've come across people who are so passionate about what their belief is that if anyone even questions them, they go fucking ballistic. Look, dude, who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter if that guy doesn't believe you or come to your side or join your club. Who cares? Fuck him. He means nothing then. You have to learn through this pretend play that other people are going to have other ideas than you and believe different things than you. So this happens at 5. At the age 5, children begin to show signs of dramatic playing. And they start to understand that other people can see things that they cannot see and that they have a different beliefs than about the world. And when we had this trans movement coming in, that's kind of what that was. That was a train coming through saying, hello, I see something you don't see. I can be, anything I want. Be all I can be. My mom told me that I could be the first female president. Girls could do whatever they wanted. And now boys can do whatever girls can do. Or girls can do whatever boys can do. That's where we ended up. Oops. I've lost my mouse. Okay, here it is. All right. So let's go down to pretend play age range. So this is what I was really interested in. So pretend play milestones. Pretend play is a magical world where children can let their Peter Pan was 12. Let their imagination soar and bring their dreams to life. So was Pippi Longstockings. So you see the ages. How old? 9? Isn't that where we ended up with? Almost all these characters are tweens in our books, our children's books. Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry. These were all teenagers, double digits. Let's explore the exciting milestone of pretend play that mark important stages in the child's imagination development. So starting pretend play around 2 to 3 years. So around 2 or 3 years, children embark on pretend play journey. They begin to understand the concept of pretending and use their imagination to become different characters or engage in make-believe scenarios. It is a thrilling milestone where the imagination takes its first steps. And on a historical epoch timeline, our pretend stage of 2 and 3 is right where we have Shakespeare, just in case you were curious. So the imaginative role playing, ages 4 and 5. Between the ages of 4 and 5, pretend play becomes more complex and exciting. Children take on multiple roles, create elaborate scenarios, and weave imaginative stories. They might even use props, costumes to enhance their pretend play adventures, bringing their imagination to life. And this is where we're going to start to get our dragons and princesses. Expanding scenarios and themes around 6 and 7. As children reach the ages of 6 and 7, they pretend play grows even more intricate. They explored a wider range of scenarios and themes, from occupations to fantasy realms. With deeper understanding of storytelling elements, they bring their creative ideas of play and create imaginative worlds of their own. And this is where we started exploring and found America. Symbolic thinking and problem solving, 8 and 9. Around 8 and 9, pretend play takes on new dimensions. Children develop symbolic thinking using objects or actions to represent something else. They engage in intricate narratives, solve pretend problems, and collaborate with friends. Pretend play becomes a source of joy, creativity, and cognitive growth. And this is what we had in the Industrial Revolution. That's about the age that we had there. So evolving forms of play, ages 10 and up. So now our tween, double-digit years. This is what we're looking at right now in the evolution of imaginary play. As children grow older, their play may evolve beyond traditional pretend play. They may explore more structured games, engage in imaginative storytelling, or pursue creative activities like writing, drawing, or acting. So we're talking about playing war, dressing up as soldiers. Everyone's writing a book. Everyone's drawing a cartoon. Everyone's acting in their own TikTok videos. While the forms of play change, the skills and experiences gained through the pretend play continue to shape and grow their growth and development. Pretend play milestones mark the remarkable stages of a child's imaginative journey, from the early beginnings of a complex role-playing, expanding scenarios, symbolic thinking, and beyond. Each milestone brings new opportunities for creativity, problem-solving, and social interaction. So let your imagination take flight and enjoy the wonders of pretend play. And it's no wonder we have Disney and the Magic Kingdom. Says so right there. Beautiful. I think that's fucking amazing. I find that so fascinating. All right, I'm done with my presentation. I think I went to like 3. You know, it is escapism around puberty. The uncertainty that comes with major physical and thus hormonal changes. The ability to reflect upon others' perceptions. In Philippic, that makes me think of what we have as our description of death, where when we die or we transition or we move on to the next species, we have these come to Jesus moments, as they call it in Christian. We have to do a self-reflecting. The ability to do that, the ability to go, oh my God, the ability to see oneself in everyone. When they talk about having your life flash before your eyes, and you hear a lot of near-death experiences, they say, you know, I had a near-death experience, and in my life review, I think they call it, they'll say things like, I was in the shoes of that girl, or I was in the shoes of that boy. It wasn't me. I was experiencing that from their perspective. And I think that there's something to that. That's an evolutionary stage that we have as children. You just noted it right there. The ability to reflect upon others' perceptions, seeing the world through someone else's eyes, being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes, have sympathy and empathy. That's what we're dealing with. Clearly, that's what's happening right now. So 2.5 hours. Okay, does anybody have anything they want to add before I end this crazy long trip down the developmental train of imagination? If you liked something that I shared, or you just want to clip a minute and share it, that would be rad to do, and say, hey, you know, if you like boring things, you might want to check this out, and then play something interesting that was shared. You know, or share one of the articles. I don't care. Just do some sharing about our behaviors and stages instead of sharing so much about our behaviors. Let's talk about how we can improve them and grow ourselves up. You know, I'm coming into school and I'm saying, look, we don't have to act like kids anymore. We can get out of here. We don't have to continue this game. I don't know. You know, honestly, I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep even bothering, as I'm starting to lose interest. And I'm really like that Alex Jones. I've prayed for the destruction of the world by a big giant fireball from the sky since I was about 4, I believe. My earliest memories of sitting at my bed praying, you know, God, please just wipe us all fucking out. Can you not hurry up and get here? These are the prayers of a child. That's true shit. I'm not even making that up. I used to pray for God to come back and end all of this nonsense. I can relate to, I can put myself in Alex's shoes. It's fucking crazy. Everybody's crazy. But it would be really rad if we could recognize that. I know what I am presenting. I recognize that what I am saying is going on challenges everyone's belief system. But the thing that I wish people would see is that I'm actually giving credence to everyone's belief system. Because what I'm saying gives you your Jesus. It lets you know what that is. It gives you an idea of what the Bible is talking about. It adds to your astrology and the houses and the Aquariuses and the ages and stages of development there. It makes that make sense. It now takes that astrology and you can go, holy fuck, I get it. I didn't get it before. I get it now. I understand what's happening. We're growing en masse as a big, huge group. And we're moving through time on a scale outside of my individual self. And so if I was a child and I had the ability to recognize that every kid in that class was me, I would have seen school differently. But when I'm a child, I look at school and it's me. It's all about me. I have the crappy home. I have the this. I have that. I want this. I want that. How come it can't be different for me? How come she has it and I don't have it? Right? That is childhood. And as a group, that's what we're struggling with. And we've got to, all this mountain talk and stuff, you have to go, whoa, yes, we're having a birthday. And the whole class, that's 5th dimensional teaching or thinking. 1 dimension, I'm lying down. 2 dimensions, I'm sitting up. 3 dimensions, I'm standing. 4 dimensions, I'm moving, I'm walking. 5 dimensions, I recognize that there's another kid next door to me who also started at 1, 2, 3, 4. I can move, and now I can move to their spot, and they can move to my spot. And they're me, and I'm them. Now I have a friend, and that's 5th dimensional thinking. That's what 5th dimension says. is that there's another world, much like myself, but not me.
Delivery for mommy.
You like it?
I don't really want to.
Excellent. Just got delivered a chocolate bar. That's how I see it. I don't know any other way to explain it. I'll keep trying, but I may just lose interest because honestly, I just don't. Outside of the few people, it'd be rad. I should write it down and see if I could. It would be really cool if I could meet somebody like me that could go, that also sees the world like me and goes, oh my God, I've also been writing this and thinking the same thing. Look at my notes. And I'll be like, holy shit, let's compare notes. That's fabulous. Let's work together. Because I can't do it on my own. I didn't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just blabbering. But somebody else who, took up different hobbies in school than I did, that would be neat. They could go, well, hey, I'm really good at this. Let's do together and let's get it out there. Let's start doing this thing. Let's see if we can't change people's perspectives. That would be super awesome. I've been asking for that for about 5 years now since I started YouTube. It hasn't happened yet. And I'm starting to lose interest and really just beginning to think that this is just, I can't fight the developmental stages that are at play. I'm not going to be able to convince a 7-year-old what a 12-year-old is going to think. I'm not going to be able to get, a second grader to understand complex geometry, complex math when they're just now mastering plus and minus. And that's what's happening. The world is just now processing their pluses and minuses, their ABCs, their opposites. They're just now understanding what fucking opposites are. And that the tooth fairy doesn't exist. And that Santa doesn't exist. And that there is no savior. There is no hero. That, nobody's going to stop the bully from beating you up. Nobody's going to do that. Right? And in the movies, they keep showing the good guy win. That's a lie. The good guy doesn't win. Nobody steps in. No Brad Pitt comes out of the pit to save us all from the zombie apocalypse. That is not how this works. We all have to grow up. You can't have one. Everyone has to. We all have to have a rite of passage. It doesn't work otherwise. Send in the asteroid. Thanks, Bri. I feel the same way. Top depth ponderances, Joni. Hopefully we can find some understanding as answers to your prayers. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, so there's that. Okay, so here I am pathetically begging, not for money, not for likes, not even views, but for just cooperation. Let's talk about it. Let me know if you want to discuss these things. If I'll go on your channel if you feel, I can behave and be quiet on other people's channels. I can stick, somebody else is leading me. I don't mind when I'm left to my own. I know I ramble, but nobody's here. And I do practice that. So I can say that I try. And I'm a little hyper, but I get better. I know thyself. I recognize the awkward child that I am in school. And I have to remember back in school when we did these book reports. Another thing I see on mass, a lot of book reports. Everyone is me. I'm doing a book report. Here it is. I'm presenting my project for class. This is the stuff. I've got a poster board and some print offs. I made a graph. And I have some pages that I typed on my typewriter, a word processor. And, I've got them in this little pocket thing with that little alligator clip looking thing. Do you remember those? What were those clear plastic covers? And you slid the little bar at the end. You sandwiched your book between the little clear plastic page, and then you slid that little thing along the spine. And you'd hand in your report with that. They'd want a cover. Remember, the teachers wanted it covered. They wanted it in a folder of some sort. Now who came up with that idea? I got to go buy that now. You know, do your parents buy it, or do you have those parents that go, well, you're going to have to do your own. You have to buy your own. So now I got to come up with 50 cents and get somebody to take me to the store so I can buy a folder thing. Get the fuck out of here. What was wrong with just a piece of paper and my little drawing I'd made with my title and stuff, you know? And they started forcing me to buy things and go along with the consumerism system there, the beast system. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's what everyone's doing. We're all 12. We're all submitting book reports. and I would have to get up and do my little part, or I'd have to talk about my part of it. And I don't really have a problem with public speaking. It's the rest of it that I have a problem with. I don't mind this part. I don't mind sharing, but it's sitting at the lunch table that I struggle with. You know what I mean? Because I don't get it. I don't understand why. I sit there and I go, I don't understand why you give a fuck about Stephanie. I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay? Who cares? Who cares what Stephanie's doing? I'm confused. And so now I don't have any friends because that's important. And I could never understand why that was important. Anyway, here's to adulting. Cheers. And we'll bounce out. Let me cheers. Cheers. That was me as a kid. Now here I am as an adult. Cheers. All right. We'll bounce out. Here's what you do to people that you just don't get along with, or they make you ill when you see their name or their face in town, or every time you just skate like they don't exist. It drives them crazy. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye, guys.
This public service announcement is brought to you by Rotten Studios. Remember, no contact is the road to freedom.